Io la non come la cosa che cambia. Mi dice cosa niente, non mi Allo switch. Io non si c'è. Now we don't count. So you like letting in this like final structure as a living.
No, I'm not renting. Just I came to like observe this because of Ilorin. It's Ilorin. I'm from Ilorin. I know to hear something about Ilorin. Those who are renting, are they, hope this is not their seat.
Yeah, it's really sick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe give them chance. Nothing else can actually.
Delle pochi piatti mi vengono non mi faceva la stava
This potential is system. Defining interpretation of
Vabbè, ci fa a fare via, sì, non io lo dice già.
Okay, please let me call you back, Mom. Good morning.
Good morning, ma. But can you hear us? Good morning, ma.
Morning, everyone. Sorry, I'm a bit late.
No problem, ma.
Sorry. Thank you. Today we're going to be having a
Sorry.
session on.
Tell me what we are waiting
Hello?
for. Yes,
Yes,
ma.
okay, I can hear you.
No, you are presenting. Okay.
Yes, I think one of the presenters is already here, and we're waiting for others to join.
Okay, ma. Ma, should we give them a few more minutes to join, ma?
Please, I really appreciate that. Thank you. It trained heavily this morning, so I guess it must have delayed the others. Thank you.
Okay, ma. Sorry, ma. Ma, can we start now? They will join us later.
Yes, others will join. I think the presenters are already available, so wait for others to join. The last presenter said is on his way, so hopefully he will join us shortly.
Okay, ma.
Thank you. That would be great.
And is an office after the second
Okay. Change location. Sure, there's nobody in the office. Was anybody?
Ma, we are waiting for you, ma.
Oh, sorry, I just have to quickly change location because the place I was using, some group of people entered that they needed to use the space. Okay. Yes. Good morning, everyone. Sorry for the delay. Yes, my name is Dr. Hadiza Audu-Soliu from Kwara State University, Malete, and I'll be chairing a panel on language, religion, and cultures in Ilorin, ethnic identities in an African city. So we have, this panel is divided into two sections, part A and part B, and we're going to be presenting according to the list. But I want to present last because I'm the second on the list. So I'll call on Dr. Soliu Ahmed, who is the first presenter, to please present his paper. And given the time, I think 15 minutes should be okay for the presentation. If it's otherwise, let me know there.
Yes, ma. That's okay, ma.
Okay, so 15 minutes. Dr. Soliu Ahmed, are you ready for your presentation?
Yes.
Okay, please.
Yes, I'm ready.
15 minutes, thank you.
Yes, good morning. My name is Dr. Saliu Alabi Ahmed from Kwara State University, Malete, Department of Social Justice and Security Studies. The title of my paper is Islamic Alternative Dispute Resolution, ADR, and a Treaty of Hudaybiyah, a panacea for peaceful coexistence among Muslim clerics in Ilorin Emirate. The significance of Treaty of Hudaybiyah to the conflict resolution cannot be undermined, as exemplified by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam 6 years after his migration to Al-Medina Al-Munawwara to spread the gospel in March 6 to 8. Prophet decided to visit Mecca with about 1,000 Hajj. You know, we have to joining. The Umrah is the lesser one, which you can do even more than 2-3 times in a year. So Prophet decided to do that.
I can hear you, Mr. Soliu. Dr. Soliu.
You can't hear me.
What's going on there?
I can hear you.
Dr. Sally, we can hear you, sir.
Hello, can I continue?
Yes, I can continue, sir.
Yes. So, yes. Prophet decided to do Humrah, and at the entry points of Mecca, is not going to perform that year Humrah, and because of that, Prophet decided to go into the Treaty of Udabiyah. That is a negotiation that goes to be one of the foremost negotiation in Islamic history. Udabiyah is like looks Lagos, and somebody stopped you. The journey, they are almost in Mecca, but because of the fund assistance, so he decided to negotiate with the Quraysh, and the content and the focus of the negotiation is to ensure that there is not going to be conflict for 10 years. Anybody that is joining Islam from Mecca, from the Quraysh, the Prophet have to return them back to Mecca, and to ensure that anybody that is rejecting Islam or leaving Islam from Medina will not have to inform the Treaty of Udabiyah, as it were, is not entirely favored to Prophet Muhammad. But the significance of it is that Prophet decided to go into this treaty because he loved peace and he wanted to reign. Why I've suggested this as a panacea for peaceful coexistence among Ilorin Emirate scholars is because a lot of them are not looking at what they can give to know that in recent time, the conflict among Ilorin Emirate scholars have become a recurring occurrence, that the scholars on every we could see the influence of the foreign influence in terms of their affiliation. Some of the students who have traveled from Ilorin and school in Saudi Arabia, in Cairo, in Morocco, in Tunisia, a lot of them have been imbibed with the ideology that is prominent in those schools where they've schooled. Particularly, I want to make reference to Saudi Arabia. Almost all the students that migrated, that traveled from Ilorin to Saudi Arabia, most of them are practicing Salafiyya or Wahhabiyya. Because I think it's part of the training that if you are not a Salafiyya or you are not into Wahhabiyya practice, you will not be sponsored or the scholarship will not be given to you. So because of that, upon their return to Ilorin, they intend to that they are always in conflict with the homegrown scholars, and because of that, the homegrown scholar, majority of them are Sufi, and Sufi has played a pivotal role in the emergence of Ilorin Emirate since 1823, when the scholars do not only played the role of scholar, they also serve as a warrior and a spiritual father to the warriors. Some of them participated actively in the fight between Ilorin and the Oyo Empire when the Alaafin of Oyo then had issue with the Are Ona Kakanfo. The Afaja migrated to Ilorin and invited Shehu Alimi, and before the migration of Alimi in Ilorin, Ulamas have settled down there. Alimi met some scholars in Ilorin and they joined hands together to support Afaja. The objective of this study is to identify the root cause of conflict among Muslim clerics in Ilorin, to examine the principles and practice of Islamic ADR and their applicability to conflict resolution among Muslim scholars, to explore the potential of Islamic ADR as a sustainable solution to conflict resolution among Muslim clerics. The root cause of the conflict among the scholars are differing interpretation or difference in interpretation of Islamic Quranic texts and hadith. Sometimes some of the content and context of the Quran are being misinterpreted on the level of their knowledge, depending on their affiliations and depending on the ideology. And because of this, when you interpret, some other people will tell you that is not the real interpretation. And the next one is ideological differences. Like I established, there have been increase in the growing and the awareness of Wahhabi Saudi Arabia in terms of practicing. I can hear you.
Sir, your
Yes,
network
ma'am.
is breaking, sir.
Oh, but I can hear you clearly, ma'am.
Okay, sir. So I can go ahead, sir.
Okay. So there have been ideological differences, there have been personal ambition and ego, external influences, and funding. Like I said, some of the students that schooled in Saudi Arabia, in Medina and Mecca, and some in Egypt from Al-Azhar University in Cairo are having funding to support the activities and spread the Wahhabiyya and the other ideological system that they are promoting. And with me having lack of accountability, the hierarchy of Ilorin Emirates has been problematic to solve the conflict among the ulama, as it were, because you could see that even when there is a conflict, the emir that's supposed to champion the resolution of this conflict will tell you that he will refer it to the chief imam of Ilorin, and the chief imam of Ilorin, at times when the conflict becomes serious, you have to also invite some other scholars. Also, we have communication breakdown and misconception, poor communications and misconceptions and misunderstanding. We have historical grievances and legacy issue, lack of effective conflict resolution. The principle of Islamic ADR, one of the principles of Islamic ADR practice is mediation, which is Waqfi, the natural third party, facilitate negotiation between parties to reach a mutual acceptable agreement. Another principle of Islamic ADR is reconciliation. A natural third party helps parties to identify common goal and interests and facilitates a mutual beneficial agreement. And the third aspect of it is arbitration, which is Takim. Takim is a natural third party, makes a binding decision in a dispute. And why I have suggested this as a panacea for conflict resolution among Muslim scholars in Ilorin is that in ADR, it's going to be a give and take. At every point in time when there is negotiation among conflicting parties, everybody will win something, and all the parties will also lose something. So it's not a winner takes it all like litigation, but in ADR, Islamic aspect of it or Islamic face of it, it's all the conflicting party will come to the same table and is on their presentation of cases or matters that involved. And if they are taking reconciliation, a neutral third party helps them to resolve their conflicts. And in this aspect, and if they are going for tawfiq, which is mediation, both conflicting parties will decide on what they want to do. But in most cases, in this aspect of it, which I'm recommending, is that everybody will bring something to the table, and the winners will not take all. The loser will also go home with something, and it's going to be a give and take aspect of negotiation. A potential it will be the potential make ADR as a sustainable justice. One of the aspects of it which I've itemized there is justice and fairness. Islamic ADR emphasizes justice and fairness in resolving disputes, ensuring all parties are treated equally. It also emphasizes impartiality. A natural third party, mediator, or arbitrator facilitates dispute resolution, compassion, and mercy. Islamic ADR promotes empathy and understanding in resolving conflict. Yes, ma'am.
Please need to round up for the other speakers.
Yes. So in summary, what I'm saying in summary is, if Islamic scholars in Ilorin can adopt the ADR as exemplified by Prophet Muhammad on the treaty in the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, where Prophet sacrificed everything that he has, but that everything has sacrificed has resulted in so much for him that at peace for 10 years, Islam was able to grow, that he maintained his relationship with his family who are the Quraysh in Mecca, which I believe, instead of allowing conflict among Islamic scholars in Ilorin to destroy their relationship, which hitherto was seen as one of the best relationships they've had before the conflict, I think is going to give us a peaceful atmosphere, and Islam will grow from strength to strength. Thank you for this opportunity, and I really appreciate my presenting here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Salih, for the presentation. I think all questions should be noted down, and at the end of the entire presentation, then the questions can come in. I'm going to call on Mr. Ishola Omotosho, who is here with us to present his paper. Please, 15 minutes. Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you for the opportunity given to present under the LSE annual conference. My name is Mr. Omotosho Ishola. I'm presenting on the topic titled Deciphering the Cosmopolitan Characters of Ilorin's Compound Names, an assessment of the cultural and linguistic continuity, 1807 to 1900. Talking about the cosmopolitan characters of Ilorin's compound names, it's all about the point or the fact that Ilorin is a multi-ethnic society. And this multi-ethnic nature of Ilorin community can be traced to the period when the arrival of the Afanja in the region. After the arrival of Afanja in the region, as it was stated by the last presenter, that Afanja invited Sheikh Ali to Ilorin to come and assist him in ongoing dispute between him and Oyo. So the invitation of the Afanja to Ilorin and to the arrival also of different ethnic and cultural groups, which gave credence to Ilorin as cultural and linguistic diversity. Subsequently, we saw the transformation of the region from the monocultural to cosmopolitan region with the resultant effects of the heterogeneous compound names across the region. It means that in this present time, there are some surviving compounds in Ilorin region which was established by the early settlers. And these compounds were named in the language spoken by the first inhabitants and also in the indigenous. The present compound name was named after these linguistic groups and economy. Therefore, that are replicated in the existing compound names as a result of the presence of different ethnic backgrounds, including Yoruba, Hausa, Fulani, and Nupe in the region. The study also focuses on the cultural and the diversity of the compound naming system. The study reveals that some of the compounds in Ilorin were the cultural and linguistic survivor or the first inhabitants. It also observed that Ilorin compound names are the symbols of the cultural and linguistic diversity of the Ilorin. I would like to say that Ilorin as a cosmopolitan city housed Hausa, Fulani, and Nupe ethnic groups. And this was as a result of presence of therefore the arrival of this group led to different ethnic and the regions to heterogeneous communities. And the result of this were the transformation of the region to the cosmopolitan city. And these groups, they name the existing compound in the language they spoke in their region. For example, here we have some names of the compounds that were named that are named after the languages and the economic activities engaged by these groups. For example, I would like to categorize these compound names into urban names and the antecedents. And also, we have the Nupe compound names here. We also have the Hausa compound name. For instance, we have some compound names which is known as the Alawanla compound. This Alawanla, it means the compounds that engage in the process of making skin using the animals. Animal skins to produce the raw materials or to produce material like bags and the bike and other usable items. So these economic activities have been in existence rightly during before the service. And the people engaged in these economic activities were dominant in quarters, in other quarters, known as the Okelele area. So, and the name of the compass was gotten as a result of the economic activity in the area in the 20th century. Also, among the Yoruba compounds in Ilorin that gave equivalence to the cosmopolitan nature of the region is Ara Oyo compound. Ara means in Yoruba the individual that belongs to a place by birth or origin. Ara Oyo, as we are all known as Oyo, is Yoruba city. And there are certain groups of Yoruba that came from the Oyo to settle at Ilorin during the waves of massive migration of the people. These people that came from Oyo settled down in an area very close to Omada. As they settled there, they categorized or they enclave themselves in that particular place. So which symbolize that this category of people that were settling in the present day and all compound they have their existence from the Oyole during the wave of migration. Therefore, this happens to be the point that Agoyo compound are the when Abuja established the Abuja around the government declared the government as an independent entity. Also, among the migrants of Oyo they accepted they were came to join the army because of the religious problem that they also formed the cosmopolitan nature of life, of which their content are seen in the of the through the lens of the company. So also we also have another company here, academics blacksmith. So this blacksmithing came from the Yoruba land. Some of them also came from the north. As we know that the Agbede is part of the Ilorin indigenous economic practices, which also established in the region as a result of the people migrating from the other regions to settle in Ilorin. So these people, they are the activists of Yoruba and they practice as blacksmith related to the Yoruba traditional religion of worshiping the Sango, Oya, and the likes of the Yoruba system of worshiping. So this Alabere compound, about your compound, and also an employed. These people also, they normally they engage in the tie and dye economic activities, which also contributed to the cosmopolitan character through the lens of the economic activities that these people from the Yoruba land engage. Because of the time, let me go to the Nupe. Under the Nupe here, we have some names that were named or that were replicated in the language spoken by the Nupe people. So the Nupe people also came down to Passetu. Most of them came during the region of the 20th century. So in Nupe language, we have compounds that were established. This compound in Nupe means Akatas. So Nupe compound means Akatas. Now these Nupe people, some of them came to Ilorin to settle, and their compounds in present day Ilorin were also replicated from the town where they came. Where they came, because of the saying that, for example, we have the Kurobu compound. Kurobu compound is the name of the name of the settlement in Ilorin. This group came from Bida and settled down in Ilorin quarters called Godo. Godo is the name of the compound where this Nupe group came to settle in Ilorin. Food from that word means area. It means the Godo for me is the Nupe terminology, or Nupe linguistic terminology, which means that the people that came from the area known as Godo, and area where they came is that is Godo. Therefore, the compound is now named Godo compound in one of the Ilorin quarters. So this Nupe compound is also an example or an instance of the cosmopolitan character of Ilorin through the compound name of the Nupe in the region where they migrate to the Ilorin. Also, we also have the Kutiji compound. This one too, the Kutiji people also, they also came from the Lafiaji area. So during the period when Ilorin was forming a kind of heterogeneous society or cosmopolitan society, as they came from Kutiji. So Kutiji was the original name of the people. And when they had, they named their compound Ilorin as Kutiji. And it means the people, the group that came from Kutiji. They are now settled in an area in Ilorin named Kutiji. The food was added when they had the Kutiji was very people. So that's how the population of the world Kutiji in somewhat in the compound and in the quarters. So also among these we have Afa Industrial Lands. Yes, ma'am.
I have 5 minutes.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Ma'am?
You have 5 minutes.
Okay,
more,
okay.
sir.
We also have Afa Industrial.
Dr. Shala, we can't hear you again, sir.
Okay. So food is also the compound as I have said earlier. So this is that is a man, but it is a man of of sending the blessing or the source of the people. That is why we say in Thessalonians, the man that likes sending the blessing.
Dr. Shala. Dr. Shala, we can't hear you enter. Your network is very bad.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, we can't hear you. It's
Can I
very low.
continue?
Sir, we can't hear you. Your network is very low.
Okay. Hello, ma'am.
Sir, we can hear you now. Can you speak now?
Okay. So in that is the man. Why Salati is the blessing on the soul of the prophet. So the man likes praising the God in the following word. Salati wa teslimi. So Salati wa teslimi is the poem composed by this man, making an attempt to shower the blessing on the prophet. Because of the influence and the Islamic propagation of this man, the compound is named Afan Salati compound. But originally, the man came from the town known as the Malay. So Malay was added as a result of the area. Now the compound in Afan Salati is named as Malay. So that is why in this present time we can find the compound named Afan Salati as a result of the man life pouring the blessing on the soul of the Prophet. Also, we also have the Yoruba, outside and Fulani compound here. For instance, now we have the Imamu Fulani compound in Ilorin. So Imamu Fulani was the head of the Fulani tribes during the period of migration in Ilorin. So because of the role of this man, the man was given the title Imam. So to lead the Fulani group here. Subsequently, especially when the migration increased, wanting to increase. So the quotas in Ilorin was divided based on the ethnic or the language speaking by different groups. Subsequently, we have Imam Fulani quotas, which whereby the head of the religion, sometimes we don't tell you, is Imam Fulani. That is why the compound is named Imam Fulani compound, and the compound can be found in Ilorin at the present time. Therefore, the current settlement was said to be as a result of the influx of the people migrated into the Ilorin in the 18th century and was conditioned by the religion and trade. And the name is called as a result of the religious role played by the descendants of the compound, and the position is end by the people of the Fulani origin. Hence, we have the Fulani compound in Ilorin, and that Fulani compound is in linguistics. Is a linguistic cosmopolitan character of the Ilorin as a result of the roles played by the man. Also have a Sokoto compound, which also happens to be an instance of the cosmopolitan character of the Ilorin.
Thank you, Mr. Omotosho. 15 minutes
Yes,
over. Your time is up. I'm sorry
Okay,
to cut you short, but your time is up. Thank you very much, Mr. Omotosho, for the presentation. Questions, comments on the paper will come after the presentation. Thank you very much. Yes, the next person is Dr. Ismail, but he's still having difficulty with his computer. He's trying to download Zoom. So while he's still doing that, I would present, and hopefully you'll be ready after my presentation. Thank you very much. The title of my paper, I would love to share my screen. I don't know if you can help me do that from your end, or I need to do that here.
Yes, you send me the this. I'll grant you permission to share your link.
Share the screen.
No, she wants to share her screen with me.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Oh yeah. Yes, share your screen with me. By go to settings.
No, I think my network is.
The network is still bad. It's bad. Can you see anything?
Yeah, tell it now.
Okay, thank you. Like I said earlier on, the title of my paper is The Influence of cross-cultural marriage in Ilorin Emirate, 1967 to 2004. Yes, I wanted to write on this paper because Ilorin Emirate, as it is from time immemorial, operate on a cultural system whereby they don't really allow, although they mingle with external bodies, but they don't really allow for marriages or close relationship with other people. However, over the years, this began to change as many Ilorin indigenous travels get exposed, and even through intergroup relationship, they began to intermingle and now intermarry. By introduction, Ilorin obviously is located in north central Nigeria and is a blend of different ethnic groups: the Yoruba people, the Fulani, the Hausa. Originally a Yoruba town, but we all know the history, like my co-presenters have been presenting, how the Fulanis took over the town from the Yoruba and became an integration into the Sokoto Caliphate. This now made Ilorin have a dual identity, a Yoruba in culture, Islamic in governance. Between 1967 and 2004, Ilorin witnessed an increase in cross-cultural marriages. These were driven by a lot of influences like migration, urbanization, religious diversity, and other factors. What is the concept of marriage? Marriage is believed to be a union of two people for procreation, for couple. However, it has traditional and cultural attachment to the concept, in which among the Yoruba people in Ilorin, marriage is a family alliance. And in that alliance, there are a lot of rituals that are performed to make the alliance strong and unbreakable. Among the Fulanis also, there is that emphasis on Islamic values. So, among the Ilorin in particular, marriage is discouraged across ethnic lines. And it is so entrenched in culture that the indigenous people prefer to marry their cousins rather than marry outsiders. And again, for those who refuse to marry within the system, the society, they're often given the wife as gift, which is often called the yaosa. This was done so that that particular young man would not go out and marry from, especially for women. While Christianity, who are the minority, also emphasizes monogamy and other church rights in marriage. However, cultural identity shaped preferences in Ilorin, while the ceremony, the child naming, all that are ensured that the creation of state in 1967 up to the end of the Civil War, so many things changed in Ilorin. This is because there were a high number of Igbo, Ebira, Nupe, Yoruba from other encouraged cultural or intertribal marriages among Ilorin people. Schools and market also fostered this relationship with unity schools that were created, and students moving from Ilorin to other parts of the country. It now encouraged inter-ethnic relationship, also sometimes led to marriages. So there are examples of Yoruba Igbo marriages, Ibera Fulani marriages, no Hausa unions, and so many examples. This union, although are often reluctantly accept it, hoping to see how it goes over the years. The one that faces more challenge, because as a woman from other ethnic group marrying into Ilorin culture, you have so many challenges. There are people looking, expectations, people waiting for your flaws, people waiting for you to commit one mistake that they'll say, ha, you actually did what you're not supposed to do. So for a woman, it's a big sacrifice. New practices and even culture. So this is just an image of what cross-cultural marriages may look like or looks like. Now, the impact or influence of intergroup marriages. One of the major influence of intergroup marriage is cross-cultural social integration and peace building. By this, intergroup marriages encourage cross-cultural family relationship and reduces conflict across network. For example, a Hausa man that marries an Ilorin man that marries a Hausa woman, if he travels outside or if he resides in, let's say, Kaduna or Kano or any Hausa state, the tendency for conflict is reduced and he has a wider network, vice versa, even to the woman also. And these intergroup marriages had helped or contributed to the peaceful nature of Ilorin. Despite all the rumors and the evident religious crisis between 1987 to 1991, you hardly hear such crisis in Ilorin. It is minimal. It is minimal because that intergroup cultural marriages had really helped to reduce the impact or effect of this crisis in Ilorin. And it also fostering interfaith dialogue. That is, a Ilorin man with an Igbo wife and who refuses to change her faith, they still coexist. And this helps interfaith dialogue, although this is not so encouraged in Ilorin because Ilorin is highly Islamic in its practices. Therefore, they do not encourage interfaith marriage. But if it happens, there is this peaceful coexistence. There are many instances where you see an Igbo Christian wife taking her children to an Islamia. Her children are wearing hijab and she's not wearing one. Clearly that she's maintaining her faith, and that has not caused any problem in the family. Rather, it fosters unity and even enables the children to have diverse experiences. Another impact is cultural hybridization. This encourages blending in traditions, such as the names, food, festivals, and attire. In some culture, you hear a child bearing Adegbe Miga, Mustafa, Chukuma, or even in some cases you hear Abdurrahman, Honorizer. So this shows the uniqueness in the blending of names due to cross-cultural marriages, and also in the mode of dressing and cultural rites. For example, during naming ceremonies or any activities, the groom will want to perform the Ilorin culture, while the bride also want to bring her own culture. So that blended culture and tradition help in the uniqueness of Ilorin culture and also help to promote what we call cultural hybridization. Then religious adaptation. Spouses who converted for harmony jointly celebrate any of these festivals, be it Salah, be it Christmas, and no one is questioning the other because they believe it is your faith. Like I said, this is not strongly allowed in Ilorin, but where it happens, nobody questioned the other. We have a popular figure, the former senator and governor, Bukola Saraki, who is an Ilorin man, and his wife is from Lagos State, who still, although she's a Muslim, but at times not really practicing the religion. And this did not stop them from being a popular family that are much loved. Then gender identity is also one of the impact of the cross-cultural marriages. Although women face the most pressure because they have to adapt culturally and religiously. This can be challenging to many women because adapting culturally, it may seem difficult for the first few years or even as much as a decade, 10 years. Many women find it difficult to adapt to the culture. And these cross-cultural marriages also serve as bridges in family disputes and help social mediation. For example, an able woman who converts to Islam helps the family dispute. Whenever there is crisis among the people, she is able to tell her family her experiences, and whatever she says to them is what they accept. So it helps that peaceful coexistence in Ilorin society. Then political and economic alliance. Some people would try to say most Ilorin men tend to marry from other cultures because of the political gain. For example, for anybody, for those who are into politics, they see it as a way of making alliance. Even economically, it helps to boost economic alliance. When you have two different cultures coming together, it helps the economy to expand, not limiting it to its present, the present society or community, but it also helps the couples to expand to other communities, having advantage of different regions and different societies. Then in the issue of conflict and this inheritance, this can be a bit difficult, I would call it negative impact, because during inheritance or there's family dispute or battle over inheritance, if the Islamic rules of inheritance is not used, the women tend to face problem. And this has been an issue why many women tend to run away from cross-cultural marriages, especially marrying in Ilorin. And then these cases are still trying, most people are still trying to ensure that inheritance issues are solved using Islamic religious means rather than using any other means, so that the woman itself will not be injured. In conclusion, cross-cultural marriages over the years have reshaped Ilorin. It has helped to build a peaceful coexistence among various ethnic groups. The Ilorin has a peaceful society and have a beautiful outward presentation where you see diverse groups coming together, sharing ethnic groups. You find children who come and tell you that their parents are from another group, and you see the uniqueness in them, ability to manage or to navigate through different cultures, and to also speak and understand the various languages of their parents. It also promoted integration, tolerance, and cultural exchange, especially when there is a family gathering where people are many. The groom or bride from other ethnic groups who come to such programs or functions tend to integrate the tolerance, the ability to tolerate, endure, and enjoy the culture helps a lot in cultural exchange. And this, I think, has indeed contributed to the peaceful coexistence of Ilorin. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, ma. Thank you, ma. Ma,
Yes.
can you hear me, ma?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Ma, you see that there's the last speaker, that's Dr. Ishola Omotosun.
Ismail.
No, Ismail. So are you
Ishola
wait for him?
Ismail. Yes, he's having trouble with his laptop. I don't know if it's possible for me to give him my own to use.
Yes, ma, if it's possible, ma.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to give him my laptop so that he can present because of time.
But my time.
Thank you, Dr. Ismail. Are you ready?
Dr. Adizat, can you hear me, ma?
I can hear you clearly, please.
Okay. Ma, the next speaker can speak for 15 minutes, ma. The time is almost up. You need to take it up, like faster.
Okay.
You have
Dr. Ismail, please. I'll give you my laptop.
Okay. Good morning, ma, and the panel.
Good morning, sir.
I am presenting on the place. Thank you very much, sir. I'm very delighted to be here to present this paper, though it's still improving it. So the paper is on the place of religion and history in Ilorin's identity, the historical perspective. The paper tries to explore the place of religion and history in defining Ilorin's identity. In some studies, we have seen that people have issues or questions concerning the crisis of identity and belonging and the dilemma of self-assertion as far as people of Ilorin is concerned. And such questions have been asked as to who are the people of Ilorin, how can we categorize them as a people? Are the people of Ilorin Yoruba in ethnocultural categorization, or are they just Yoruba speaking people? And so, and the number of issues raised about what ethnic identifier or determiner can be used to categorize the people of Ilorin. So this paper tried to explore two of the major ethnic identity determinants for the people of Ilorin and to see to what extent these two are being used to define Ilorin's ethnic identity over time. Of course, the paper recognizes the place of other ethnic markers as far as defining and identifying people is concerned. In one of the recent studies about the indices of ethnic identity in Ilorin, Saka Aliyu argues that language among various ethnic identifiers, religion, history, and ancestry are the most important and appropriate in defining the people of Ilorin. He also argues that history-inspired identity is very common in Ilorin, and that when Ilorin are faced with certain challenges or what he calls politically charged situations, they often identify themselves as the Ilorins, and they always stand to defend that identity. Secondly, we have a paper from a study from Olosho in 2018, where she tries to look at what she called language against ethnicity, the conflicting linguistic and ethnic identities of the Fulani people of Ilorin. Of course, the paper focused more on the Fulani people, but the result of this paper is that 40%, I mean 95% of those respondents that she interviewed actually identify themselves as along their ethnic line, even though many of them, all of them are Yoruba speaking people, but they actually use their ancestral ethnicity to identify themselves. While some percent claim that they have Fulani ethnic identity, some claim hybrid identity, like saying we are full. So one of the conclusions that Olosho draws from her study is that language could not be used to categorize people of Ilorin, and that when the people shared same language or share same territory, that what defines a group of people transcend their language and geographical location. So based on this, Olosho identifies some patterns, what's called ethnic patterns among people of Ilorin, though she has studied Fulani. And this included those things like ancestral or ethnic pattern, linguistic identity, bicultural or hybrid identity, ethnic, those she calls ethnic converts, as well as civic identity. And different people were categorized into this. And so, but Olosho is a question whether or not there are people that can be called Ilorin. And in her words, she said, although there is no such ethnic group as Ilorin, But this respondent construction of an identities, it also shows that the respondent define a civic identity to an ethnic one, which means that even if generalized to other Ilorin people, we have it in various accounts, including 19th century accounts of people of Ilorin being referred to as the Ilorins, even though it is recognized that they are Yoruba speaking people. And so because of these references are there. And so for Ilorin, it is a multi-ethnic community. That is a well-established fact. And that Ilorin started as far back as at least as late 18th century, when people began to migrate and settle down. Fulani, Hausa, Anupe, among others. And even that within this, among the people, the community, the population is of a mixed character. Apart from having different ethnic groups, we also have what eventually became at the first mixed blood, with people of different ethnic origin. One of the major factors that brought about this is their history, as well as the religion of Islam, that actually played major role. Identify here, we have those that are Arabs, or the one that are referred to as Arabo-Berbers. We have Baruba, we have Chado Sudanese, we have people of Dendi origin, Fulani, we have Hausa, Kanuke, we have Malians, we have Nupe, we have different groups, all in Ilorin. And facts still remain that many of these have become resident in Ilorin as late as 1790s, when the revolt of Afajat began, and he began to recruit people to join him in that revolt. So configuration of Ilorin, including people that were referred to as Bature Dudu, which means the white black men, who are people that are of this Chado Arab origins already in Ilorin, that people saw physical on ground there. And so that brought about the...
Sir, can you hear me, sir? Dr. Ismail.
The most of the groups that reside in Ilorin, is it by their shared...
Dr. Ismail.
Identity of their leader. This, yes, ma.
Sir, you need to round up, sir.
Hello, ma.
Sir, can you hear me, sir?
Okay, thank you. So, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sir, you need to round up, sir.
Can I go on?
Question. You need to round up for question from the
Okay,
audience.
so looking at the collective, looking at the collective, look at the historical aspect of the people, we can see that a number of historical that have been called Ilorin, and that history and historical expressions included a history of conflict with the Yoruba state, history of struggle for survival and independence, history of persecution and continuous threat to their assimilation, which brought all these people together to see themselves as one people that have come to be called Ilorin. And that people see Islam has come to really brought about their integration, their unification, and they are coming together, being seen as a united Muslim community, a majority Muslim community, even though Yoruba speaking, but made up of people of different ethnic origin, who more often than not prefer to be seen as Ilorins, rather than being seen as Yoruba or Fulani or Hausa as some circumstances. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Ismail, for the presentation. And now the floor is open for questions, comments, observation, and any other thing that will improve this paper. Thank you very much.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Yes, I want to make 2 comments regarding the paper presented by Mr. Omotosho on the name of the houses or compound names and the profession. I want him to also look at the economic affiliations with some of the names as it were, because I've come to realize that some ethnic groups that they mentioned, that there are a lot of other economic activities that surrounding the environment, like the Gambari, for example. I'm very sure the large assemblage of Hausa people in Gambari quarters was as a result of the Musa Bako, the Gugubiri people that form the environment. And when you look truly, even up to today, the kind of economic practice in those areas are still within the Hausa practice, like Megida, people that do, and the Yorubas, they are the one that interpret fixing prices. And when the Hausas bring rams, cow, and other economic activities revolving around that quarters. And similarly, the Nupe people,
Dr.
which have
Dr. Sani.
Hello, ma.
Sir, please, we need to give time for the audience to ask that question.
Okay. So I'm just saying that we can also look at those activities around the economy, surrounding the settlement of. Thank you. And on the presentation of Dr. Adiza regarding the Ilorin people marrying outside, or the non-Ilorin people, I also think it's a culture that is seriously enlarging, and it's becoming obvious in the tradition. Like she submitted previously, it's not a common culture because of the religious differences, but with the Enlightenment, and for those that have gone to school, they can convince the environment and their parents that they want to marry outside. It's a very difficult task, but if the woman can adopt Islam or submit to the culture of Ilorin, even if you are not practicing Islam, behave like one, cover your hair, adopt their system, don't abuse culture, even if you don't like it. I think it's something that's growing, and a lot of people are embracing it. Thank you. These are my submission.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So, Dr. Adiza.
Yes, thank you very much. We have just 18 minutes left. Welcome questions from the audience over there.
Can I? Yes, my son. Yes, come to the person.
Good afternoon, Dr. Adiza.
Good afternoon.
I'm Rashida Salah from Kwara State University.
I know you.
So, okay. So quickly, I would like you to clear this stereotype about Ilorin men. When they get married to somebody that is not from Ilorin, there's this stereotype that they usually get married to another wife that must come from Ilorin. That is, irrespective of the fact that they will get married to somebody outside Ilorin, they must still bring somebody from Ilorin and get married to them. I just want to know if this is true. And also, how do individuals in cross-cultural marriage maneuver their ways around this cultural and religious belief? Also, I'm very much interested in your work, and I would like to know if you've analyzed the way you gather your data, or it's just.
Okay. Thank you so much. I am Al-Amin Al-Nasir. It was such a nice presentation from the panelists and the chair. My questions are not really questions, but just some comment and observation. But the first one is, when we talk of cross-cultural marriages in Ilorin, and in recent time, we have been recording high rate of divorce. And this is happening at a time when we expect that people, the value of cross-cultural marriages should ensure that people are together and they understand themselves. Could we say that the divorce issue is as a result of these cross-cultural marriages? Because in Ilorin, I am very sure if you marry somebody from Ilorin, before you guys can divorce, it will take a lot of interventions, and it's not always encouraged. That's one. And also to the first presenter, giving us names of compounds and all of that, I would like to know the significance of these names to the cultural emancipation or growth of Ilorin. It shouldn't just be us knowing the history, but what will be the value of these names to the coming generation? Ilorin city of, so to say, they are now going, they don't even have that connection with the family houses. So what is now the value? Because when you mention some names, I'm just surprised that that is the origin. So because some people don't even know it. So what can be the significance to this? And also, yes, the last presenter, Dr. I think Otukoko, right? Yes, yes. I always tell people when they ask me, where are you from? I'll say Ilorin. What tribe or what language do you speak? I say Ilorin. I speak Ilorin. Because I'm just trying to validate your assumption, because Ilorin does not have a single culture. It is cross-cultural. And that's why I enjoy this session, because everything comes together to give us that cross-cultural nature of Ilorin. And so I believe we can do more research on how influential this cross-cultural nature of Ilorin is improving day by day through transformation and continuity. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your questions, comments, and observation on the presentation. Fortunately, I couldn't hear Mrs. Rashida clearly. I don't know if she can just quickly tell us again. Network was bad.
Dr. Adiza, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, please. I just want you to clear the stereotype about Ilorin men marrying. If they get married to somebody that is not from Ilorin, they must still go back and get married to somebody from Ilorin. Do you get what I'm saying? Is this a stereotype, or is a generalization, or is it really happening? Then how do individuals that get married through these cross-cultural marriages, how do they maneuver their ways around the culture and the religious beliefs? Did you get that, please?
Yes, I got it. Thank you.
Then the last one is
yes.
Okay, I have one more. That is your work based on analysis, or is just purely descriptive?
Okay, let me quickly respond so that others respond quickly. One, let me start with the last question. My work is a narrative analysis, okay, of cross-cultural marriage. And let me clear this. It is not my area of research. I'm just moving, dancing around, because I work at Kwara State University, hosted by Ilorin community. So I can't just focus on my own location. So I have to. Then again, bicultural marriage, I'm a living experience. So I felt such should be put out. Then quickly, you also said that that a man was married. I believe it's a negative stereotype. A man, of many Ilorin men, he even marry foreigners, and they still maintain one wife, one husband. It is not, well, the challenge is many parents and the tradition still remains, and no matter how she tried to ask, she's not Ilorin enough. That is the problem. She's not, as long as she's not born and bred, she's not enough. Even if she behaves more. I have a friend who is more Ilorin than an Ilorin person. She is. In fact, her husband makes fun of her that you have turned yourself to an Ilorin person, and yet you are not one. To show how she has acculturated, she's now a typical Ilorin, but yet her husband. The Ilorin woman the husband married left, and she's the one in the house. So that takes me to the third question. Is rampant? I want to believe it's more like a 21st century phenomenon. And because the new wave of westernization, globalization, and the recent feminist theories and all that, there are a lot of women who feel they can stay on their own. So this does not have anything to do with cross-cultural marriages. The high number of divorce witnessed in Ilorin, although I've not gone out to take the statistics, but the one I've seen, the one I've heard, is not even of those who married outside Ilorin, but within Ilorin community. It is higher among themselves than with other ethnic groups.
Thank you.
I think that's what I'm going to stop for.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm going to allow others to answer their questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Osali. Do personally meet you on the comments made to improve my paper. So, however, I would like to ask the question. You made mention of the AD Act, that is alternative dispute resolution, and in the spirit of Treaty of Libya, if I'm not mistaken. So please, can we say it is an Islamic diplomacy? Is a question, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, Dr. Saliu Ahmed, the question is directed at you. Are you still there?
Yes.
Yes, it's here.
While you are asking, yes, while you are asking, Mr. Motacho, while you are asking that question, please, can you respond to your own questions?
Okay.
The questions given, can you answer it briefly? On place names.
Okay.
On place name.
Yes, ma'am.
Please respond.
It's an observation.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Saliu, I don't think Dr. Saliu is still there because he's not responding. He's not responding. Dr. Ismail,
Dr. Saliu is not here.
He's not
here. I'm here. Let me quickly respond to his question. Now he's talking about Islamic diplomacy. Seen over the years that the conflicts among scholars, the Muslim scholars, is becoming alarming, especially with the outbreak in the using internet to respond to allegations and using that as to vent angers and respond to people. It's bringing a lot of difficulties in resolving conflicts. A lot of people that you've said dehumanize them. When you want to even resolve it, now it becomes a problem. So instead of going to that extent or using internet or using other means, why are we not using alternative dispute resolution like Prophet Muhammad actually did using the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, which is alternative dispute? My position. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Any more questions, observations, contributions?
No, ma'am. But you have
Okay. No. All right. Thank you very much for the wonderful session.
Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful session.
Okay, without any question, I think we will reconvene for the second part. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Adiza, we'll meet in the next session.
David.
Thank you very much for the wonderful presentations.